It's March 20th. I just started walking this transition. It took me quite a while to get out here even. I had to cross a few ditches and they were pretty deep and I got wet. But I just started walking the transition and I came across this scrape. Really well used licking branch up here. It's even shredded. It's shredded about 5 feet up. And then right next to it, it's a pretty good rub. So I already found one dead deer, just some bones, but I got a pretty good feeling about this area here. The whole area is all nasty buckthorn. It's an invasive plant. Here I might have found a way to get in here pretty sneaky. There's a creek back behind here that I can paddle down with a canoe, and that's some really tall grass. I bet you I'd be able to walk through there and I'd make some noise, but I don't think anything would be seeing me. That grass is probably 7 feet tall. Here's a pretty well used bed. It's kind of matted down with hair right now. I found it by just walking the transition just to the west of me. I was walking the transition and I found a whole rub line going east to west, and I followed it in just 50 yards here, and I started finding more rubs, a couple old rubs, and then I found the bed. So here it is. Okay, so far I haven't really found anything extremely exciting, but I'm about to go into the only patch of woods really close to me that actually has a pretty good amount of acorns, oak trees. So I just got to the edge of it here and I found a scrape with a licking branch up above it that's all ripped up, chewed on. There's some fresh doe tracks in the scrape right now. A bunch of hair. So I'm about to kind of walk the edge of this little oak flat out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So if I find anything exciting, this is probably going to be the place where I find it. Okay, I took about 100 steps here and I already found a few beds. Two of them, one's facing east, one's facing west, and then there's a few rubs, and a couple old rubs too from years past. So it's looking good so far. Here's another bed. Some other things about these beds here. I'm just trying to figure out how I would approach them, because there's swamp over there, and from these beds, this deer, which I'm gonna assume is a buck, can see all out really far across where I would have to access from. It's got a pretty good view. And then a couple 100 yards up this way, there's some crop fields, and it's private land that I can't walk on. Yeah, I'm not real sure how I'm going to approach it. There's a lot of thick brush back behind the bed. Should be a pretty fun one. Just found a couple more beds, not even 10 steps away. Some rubs on the trees back behind it. I think I see another big rub way out here. I'm gonna go check it out. Yeah, this is about the closest thing to a buck bedding area as I've found all morning. This whole little kind of like 100 square foot area, it's just kind of marked up with rubs, and all the rubs are all different ages. They're some from this past year and some from several years past. Alright, I didn't have a ton of options on those beds over there. Those beds are right underneath a red oak tree, and I'm thinking they're going from that bed to that field over there in the early season. And it looks like there's a couple trails that go straight from the bed to the field, but then there's also a couple trees that come from the bed straight down through here and come up to these acorns back behind me. There's a lot of oak trees in here, so my only hope is that any buck that's using that bed comes from that bed and comes to the acorns before it goes just straight out into the field. I found really the only tree that'll kind of work, and there's this big beat down trail coming past here, which kind of builds my confidence a little bit in this spot. And this is the tree, this crooked thing. It's a live tree, but it's pretty rough looking. And this trail runs right by here at about 10 yards. So it'll be a close encounter if something walks right down this trail. But I'm thinking something will probably filter in through here, because the bed is way out there. And it kind of comes into this little staging area.